Hey there, Manny Cabrera. I am with the owner and chief instructor at Sidekicks Martial Arts, as well as the Life Mastery Program right here in the Fishhawk area. And I gotta tell you, man, I'm excited because I feel like I'm interrupting your wall-to-wall coverage of election news because it's about 9 o'clock, which means that the West Coast polls have just closed. And you know what? The party's really gonna get kicking off, I guess, now. I know that maybe you're feeling some anxiety about, all the election stuff. And you know what? My wife, Jessica, actually posted just a couple of minutes ago, that, a really great message, talking about how, doesn't whoever ends up getting elected, whether it's your person or not your person, there's still work to be done. And I think that's just such a great message. If you follow my wife, Jessica, I think it was just a wonderful, wonderful message to share. That's not why I'm online today. I'm here to kind of let's focus on what we can control. The election's done. We've done the voting. Now it's all in the hands to the counters, the people who are going to figure out what that is. So let's focus on the things that you and I, as parents, as people, that we really can control. And so I'm going to start off by telling a little story about me. Now, so this is, talking about what I think is a lost secret that may be hurting children today, versus maybe, children from the past, or, kind of some of the things that I've noticed in the years that I've worked with children. This is actually one of our main classrooms. We actually, on this computer here, we got done teaching classes, but on this computer, we use this to broadcast our Zoom classes. So we actually teach class virtually every day as well. So I got to tell you that I had a pretty unique childhood. I don't know how much about me, but not only did I get to learn martial arts as a kid, but I got to spend a huge chunk of my youth at the martial arts school in general, because my parents owned the place. My dad and my mom were actually my instructors as I was growing up as a kid. Hi, Mom, because I know you watch all of these. But I actually, got a really unique opportunity to kind of almost live the lifestyle of martial arts. And so when I was a kid, we had these really cool T-shirts. Now I run around all the time, and I run around repping, Sidekicks. But when I was a kid, one of the T-shirts that we had was why play the game? And it had a little video controller. On the back, it had a guy doing a really cool flying sidekick when you can live the adventure. And so I kind of felt every day, pardon me, my life was kind of I was living, the dream. I was living, an adventure that other kids couldn't, because I got to be almost like a real life superhero. So when I was much younger, we used to teach in a couple different programs around Tallahassee where I grew up. And then, from the time I was sixth grade on, we had a full commercial martial arts school. In fact, it was kind of one of the pioneers of commercial martial arts schools, because they weren't really that popular in the 80s, And so I would go to school every day, and then once school was over, my mom would pick up me and my brother, and then we would head to the martial arts studio, where I would spend the whole day. I'd do my homework at the martial arts school. I would do martial arts classes every day. When I got to the point where I was able, I would actually help with classes. It's funny that even when my wife and I, who we dated in high school, when we started dating, I would actually, hide in one of the offices there and actually talk to her on the phone, on the phone. But I actually got to do a lot of martial arts. And so really cool, at least for me, is that I actually got to do a lot of personal development training. So because my parents were really big into people like Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy, and all of these, high level thinkers that are famous in the self-help and personal development guru type people. And in a lot of ways, I actually, got kind of the chance to see all of these things before people who feel like they need to learn them discover them when they're cruising the self-help section at Barnes and Noble, And one of the coolest things I got to do as a kid was learn to use like the power of my mind. Now in martial arts, we use board breaking as a way to kind of demonstrate that we have great technique, but also the thought process. Because I mean, if you can break wood, which holds up, wood can hold up houses and buildings, but and you could break wood and not get hurt. Like imagine like how much power you have inside of you. Well, I actually got the opportunity at 12 years old to use kind of those same techniques under the guidance of my dad at this black belt camp one time in the Ozarks, to actually walk across the hot coals. So I got to do the fire walk like they do at like Tony Robbins events. And so I was 12, maybe 13. I got to walk across hot coals barefoot without getting burned. And if you're 12 or 13 and you literally walked on fire, after that, you're like, man, there was no touching me, man. I felt like I could do and achieve anything after that. And so like the learning and how to develop myself and that information and being able to then translate that information to help other people, kind of was one of my passions growing up. And so I've always done, even at kind of like, I would say my lowest points emotionally and mentally, even doing a little bit of self-help. And certainly in the last couple of years, I gotta be honest, like I've actually done a lot of work on myself individually, mentally, emotionally, that's really helped me in, terms of how things go here at Sidekicks, helped me, become a better manager, an employer, an instructor, and honestly, in a lot of ways, a better husband, which, for a long time, sometimes I was, kind of a jerk sometimes, but one of the things that I really noticed is like, I got this really unique experience as a kid, but I'm noticing that there's a lot of kids nowadays that aren't developing these tools for themselves. Like they're not getting the chance. And I'm kind of noticing that personal development is becoming a lost art, even when we're training our kids. And, I kind of think that there's like three reasons I can attribute it to kind of like three different areas. Number one, I think that as far as like the first thing that I think is kind of hindering personal development or hindering kids' ability to, work on personal development, is digital addictions. Now, during this time of a global pandemic, of course, we're spending a lot of time on Zoom, but we also know that there's times when kids are doing a lot of things online and they're exposed to things online that are not conducive to their mental health or to their personal growth. If your child is on social media, depending, even in high school, there are being shown serious negative effects to the digital addictions that are on there, and the endless swiping on things like TikTok or Instagram, where video is in short form, is eroding the attention span of children. Like I noticed that myself, that like, I'll start on, scrolling on TikTok, and then next thing I know, like an hour has passed and all I've done is watch, people do TikTok dances, over and over again. And unfortunately, a kid whose brain is not forming or has not fully formed, of course their brain is forming, a child whose brain is not fully formed isn't going to be self-aware enough to realize, oh gosh, I've spent too much time on social media. This is not reality. And I need to back off and go do something else. And so digital addictions are, I'm getting children coming in all the time who, parents are just like, I need to get them off video games. I need to get them off tablets. They're spending too much time on there. And they're not talking just about those times that they're spending on Zoom for school, The second thing that I think may be contributing to the, to personal development becoming a lost art is parent distraction. We are, as parents, have more more things being thrown at us than ever before. And if we don't lead by example in terms of personal development, how can we expect our kids to be focused on personal development? How can we expect our kids to be focused on bettering themselves if we ourselves are not focused on bettering ourselves? And I get it. Things are hard. Things are tough sometimes, especially the last 7 months where emotionally, some of us are so overwhelmed by everything that's happened in the pandemic that, sometimes barely surviving looks like vegging out on the couch and watching Netflix for a while. And unfortunately, we have to focus on the fact that, we do have a responsibility to our children as parents in order to kind of work on overcoming that and working on ourselves and helping our kids to, get on the road to personal development. I realized one of the things that I had been neglecting over the past couple of years, because I've been so focused on, the development of Sidekicks, is I hadn't focused necessarily on my own personal health. And 4 months ago, I started back on that road to really working on making sure that I'm eating right and focusing on working out. I work out every day now. And so I'm trying to set that good example for my own kids that this is something that has to be a daily part of their life. And then, the last reason, that has become kind of a tough, road in personal development becoming a lost art for both children and adults is that, we're isolating ourselves and we're not spending time reading or listening to podcasts that uplift us, or even writing down our own thoughts or masterminding with other people and just having conversations, which is the best way to start on the road to personal development. You know what I mean? And those things sometimes aren't being facilitated because, in school, teachers are working very, very hard, but they have a lot to cover. And so sometimes, that opportunity to really work on ourselves is not being provided in school. And it may not even be their responsibility. And then, especially at home, we're always going to one place or another, trying to get things done, and get the kids to soccer or get the kids to martial arts or whatever, that we're not having those conversations necessarily with our kids in order to hey, how do we want our family to be? So, those are kind of the three things that I think that is making it kind of tough for personal development to be a lost art for, and helping children to start understanding that, if I'm going to be successful in life, if I'm going to be in great relationships with other people, then I need to start by working on myself, And so the things that are getting in the way, like I said, digital addictions, us as parents, we're distracted, understandably so, right? And then of course, not, helping our kids to understand the value of reading or masterminding with other people who are of like mind, writing down our own feelings, journaling, exploring, even thinking about, inward thought, so to speak. So, my question to you is are you involved? Are you doing any kind of personal development on a daily basis? What are you doing on a daily basis to make yourself better? Are you waking up in the morning doing what my friend Jason calls the 3x3? Are you, which is his daily gratitude rituals? Are you doing, are you journaling every day? Are you planning your day? That alone, just, hey, what is it do I expect during the day? One of my favorite authors, Brendan Burchard, in his book, he says that you need to set your intention for the day. And if I set my intention, then I can gear all of my effort towards it before the day comes along and changes it for me. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the goal all along. Is your child involved in the kind of personal development program? At Sidekicks, when you join our basic martial arts program, we use a program called Powerful Words in order to help kids to start on that road of personal development. We encourage them through our martial arts program to do all kinds of things. What kind of things is your child doing? Are they involved at church? What is it they're doing? And, what can you do in order to help them get there? So for me, I got three key things that we offer through our Life Mastery program, and which is our higher level coaching program here at Sidekicks. The three things that we really provided through that program is a roadmap for where we're going. We know what the goal is, we know how we're going, and we know how we're going to get there. Second thing is we provide accountability, which is going to be a key factor. And then the mastermind advantage, because you have access as you. People who are more successful than us, whether it's financially or relationships or, skill-wise, whatever your definition of the success is, they're not higher above you, they're just further along. And so if we can be in mastermind with people who may be where we want to go or are working towards the same thing, then it's definitely going to be an improvement in the long term. So I want to offer you a gift. If you comment in the comment section, roadmap, I will actually send you our Life Mastery roadmap. I'll just send it to you so you can see what it is that, the life, is a roadmap to helping you to develop those personal development skills over time. And then also, I'll invite you to set up a free discovery call if that's something that you're interested in finding more about how we do things in our Life Mastery program. I'd be definitely love to do that for you. Just comment roadmap in the bottom section. And so that's really all I got for you tonight. I know I'm going to let you go back to your election coverage, but last thing I want to say is it doesn't matter who wins the election tomorrow. You and I are still going to be committed to helping our children to be the best they can be, helping our community to thrive, and working on ourselves to become the people that we in our mind aligns with what we value. And so I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And if I can help you anyway, let me know. If you want access to the roadmap or you're interested in one of our discovery calls, just comment roadmap in the comment section. Have a powerful day, guys, and I'll see you soon.